Hey guys, it's Kaz here, and today I'm doing the mid-year freakout tag, which I was tagged in to do by, Faye over at Books and Chocoholic today actually, so I'm doing this a swift one. I mean, that might be because I haven't filmed a video yet today, but it also, maybe it's because I'm that quick at replying to tags. It's not, it's the first one definitely. But this was created by Chammy, who has deleted or privated the video so it doesn't exist anymore, and Earl Grey Books. So I'll leave Earl Grey Books original tag video down below, and I'll just leave Chammy's channel down below. Check it out if you want. So question 1 is best book you've read so far. This was a little bit hard, but I wanted to pick different books for different questions, so I've gone with Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. I read this in January. It was just an amazing, great read. 5 stars. I went in this with no idea what it was going to be about other than like the basic outline of the plot, but it was just so good, and there were so many twists and turns, and it just did things completely different than what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be kind of good, but also very tropey, YA, dystopia-y type thing. But every time something new happened, I was like, was not expecting that, was not expecting that. So it was a great book. I know, I'm late, but I read it. Question 2 is best sequel you read, and I had a look, and it seems like I haven't read that many sequels. But I've gone with Claws by Zaya Feli. This was such a good book. It's a duology. The first one's called Teeth, this one's called Claws. It's set in olden times, Viking, Norse age, and there's magic and runes and battles and crazy magical god creatures that are inside people. But it's just a great read. Both of them are just really good. You should check this out. Self-published as well. Do it. Great book. Great series. Great author. There's 2 main characters that are gay, 1 main character is Ace, and a female-female relationship in here. So if the Norse god magical stuff wasn't enough for you, that surely should be. So question 3 is new release you haven't read yet but want to. So this one isn't that new. It came out last year, but I own it and I want to read it, and I don't know why I haven't yet, but I kind of do know why I haven't yet. And that is Call Down the Hulk by Maggie Stiefvater. Yes, why haven't I read it? 2 reasons. The main reason, just realised that my window's still open, so that's fun. The main reason is because I want to reread. The main reason is because I want to reread The Raven Cycle. That was something that I decided last year that I want to do, so I might as well reread that first before I read this. Why are there so many cars? We're in lockdown. The second is I read all of The Raven Cycle within like a week and a half, and I'm kind of sad that I'm going to have to read this and then wait for ages for the next one. But definitely want to read this. If you somehow don't know, it's kind of a sequel-ish to The Raven Cycle. The next question is most anticipated release for the next half of the year, and first of all, I'm terrible at new releases. I don't know when everything or anything's coming out. It's just not something I know. I will see people holding it up when it comes out and I'll be like, no way, that looks cool. So the one thing that I do know is coming out, and I very much am looking forward to, is Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. And that is partly because it's one of the only books that I know of, and partly because I just really want to read this. And I keep seeing like every single person in America on Twitter with an arc, and then I'm sad because I'm not American. But then I remember the state of America, and then I'm alright again. So next question is biggest disappointment, and with that one I've gone with No Big Deal by Danny Keane. This is the sequel to a novella which was about 40 pages, and the novella was so good and it made me cry and I really enjoyed it. And normally I don't really get attached to novellas, but then this book just wasn't it. It wasn't as good as the first one. I didn't particularly enjoy the characters. It didn't really go the places that I want it to go. So yeah, not the best. I think I give it 3 stars. It wasn't terrible, but it just definitely was a disappointment after that first novella. So next up we have the biggest surprise, and I almost put Noughts and Crosses in here just because I had no idea what it was about, but I've gone with Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson because getting this I literally had no idea. You know how this is massive on BookTube at the moment, like people love it? I got this on a total whim because I was buying a Rick Riordan book and it was in 2 for £7 on Amazon, so I was like, oh, I might as well pick some up. And I scrolled through and this one looked the most interesting because a lot of them were kids books because Rick Riordan, middle grade. So I picked this up, and then I knew nothing about it, and then like 3 months later everyone was going, oh my god, this book's so amazing, and I thought I should probably read that. And then I read it and it was really good, so I'm glad I randomly picked it up. It was definitely a surprise. It's about a girl and a murder. Now, it's a girl, she's searching a murder, deciding whether the person that got done for it did actually do the murder, and then it's told in multimedia, so it's got like emails and texts and some pictures in there. And it's just really interesting, and I don't know why I haven't shut my window, but hey, we're here. It's right next to me, but I can't be bothered. Great book. I've got the sequel. Definitely want to read it soon. The next question is favourite new to you author, so I'm just going to throw these two out here again because I'd never read either of them. And also, I'll mention some more later on in the video of other favourites because I don't really have a specific favourite. I enjoy all these books. Next question is newest fictional crush, and I don't have an answer for this because I don't have a newest fictional crush. It's very, very rarely that I'm attached to a character in that sort of way. I even kind of didn't realise until one of my friends said, oh, you never ship anyone, and then I thought, like, you know what, I have very, very few ships in a book because I'm just not that bothered about that sort of stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some important ships, but crushes and shipping characters is not the massive thing that I take away from books. In fact, I feel like I want to do a video about books that really didn't need a relationship in it, so if that sounds interesting, let me know. Next question is newest favourite character, and I'm going to go with Alex from Alice in Wonderland by Simon James Green, simply because I loved this book and I haven't mentioned it yet and I want to mention it, but also he's just so awkward and I love it. Just read it. It's about these kids that work in an arcade and it's just them having some fun times and some good times, but then also there's this mysterious notes that keep getting sent to them, like saying, oh, the arcade will be destroyed, that sort of business. And it's just a really great book and it made me laugh and cry, and read it. Talking about crying, the next question is a book that made you cry. So, Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring-Brake. And also, put this in, new to you author, that's dead good and that. This book I read partly on a bus coming home from a gig, and I literally cried 5 times on that 40-minute bus journey. Yeah, it was a good job it was 11 o'clock and there weren't many people on the bus because I was... And then I got home and then I finished it into the night, into the early hours of the morning, and I was... Lots of cries, so it definitely works for this. This was just an amazing book. It's about these twins. It follows the female twin. For fuck's sake, just shut the bastard window. It's right here, man. It's about twins and we follow the girl twin, and her brother is accused by one of her friends and his girlfriend of rape, and it's just really hard hitting, and it's about her trying to figure out her feelings and who to believe and what to believe and how that affects relationships with everybody. And it's just a really good book and it makes me cry. Next up is a book that made you happy, so I'm going with Darius the Great Is Not Okay by Adam Coram. Again, put this in the new to you authors that you love. Another one that I could very well have put on the best book read so far list, but I put it here because just the reading experience was really good for me. I sat on my computer and I was on the internet, and every time a certain cuisine or a place or something was explained in here about Iran, I was googling it, and I just had a really good reading experience and seeing everything in real life, and it just gave me that extra pop and I really enjoyed it. And also it's just cute. It's about friendship and I love it. Just read it. It's about a guy who's half Persian and American, and then they go to Iran, and then it's about him figuring out all his Iranian aspects of him and how he fits into that culture and getting a friend, and I love it. Next is most beautiful book you've bought or received, and for this one I'm going to go with Darren Shan, Manga Volume 8. And this isn't beautiful because of what it looks like necessarily, it just looks like a normal thing, but it is signed and personalised by Darren Shan, and Darren Shan sent it to me, so how can it not be the most beautiful artist of them all? And then last but not least, what books do you still need to read in 2020? I have a 2020 TBR. I still have 20 books on there. I know that sounds crazy, but I had like 49, so I'm doing well. So I'm just gonna find one randomly. I mean, I mentioned The Raven Cycle earlier. That is on my 2020 TBR. What else is? Let's find one. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I've never read it. It's on my 2020 TBR. It needs to happen. There we go. So I'm not going to tag anyone on this because I feel like everybody's done it or will do it or has done it if they want to. But if you want to do it, then do it. And leave some comments below about some stuff and some things, and I'll reply, and it'll be a good time. If this is your first video by me and you enjoy it, and please check out some of my others. And if you continue to enjoy, then please subscribe, that'd be awesome. Anyway guys, I'll see you in a few days with another video.